guys, this is our introduction video for Tumbling for Beginners. Today we're going to be discussing the proper shaping and technique for our forward rolls, our backward rolls, our cartwheels, and our handstands. Thank you for joining us, and we really appreciate you. Alright, so first up is our forward roll. Grayson is going to do the first half of the forward roll, ensuring that her chin is tucked, and she's going to freeze in our bent leg candlestick position. Alright, stretch tall, hands on the ground, and tuck and roll, freeze, just like that. See how she's really pushing on those hands? That's what we're looking for, so that we get a nice clean stand up when it's ready to do so. All right, next, Cynthia is going to go ahead and forward roll all the way down, finishing in our press tall position, pancakes on the ground, and roll, good. Making sure that our hands are super duper flat, and we've got a nice round shape in our back. All right, next we are going to make it a little bit harder, and Cynthia is going to forward roll on a flat surface, finishing with her feet off of the mat. Nice. All right, next Cynthia is going to put this little bit of a pool noodle underneath her chin, ensuring that she's tucking her chin and she gets a nice smooth roll. Perfect. All right, if you're able to do all of these drills properly, you should have a nice tight forward roll like this. All right, the next skill that we're going to work on is our backward roll. And the most important part of the backward roll is ensuring that we've got our little pancake hands. So Cynthia is going to put her arms up by her ears. Whenever her bottom hits that ground, she's going to put her hands by her ears and do a nice tucked leg candlestick. Pushing on those hands really, really tight. And then, yep, stand up, do it one more time for him. Yep, and push on those hands, push on them. Good, very nice. All right, our next drill, Cynthia's going to do the whole backward roll down the incline, making it a little easier. Really enforcing that she pushes on her pancakes all the way to a squatted position. Go. Pancakes. And all right, the next skill that we are going to talk about is the handstand. The handstand is the most important fundamental skill that you will learn, and it is also a skill that you will pass through in any tumbling pass that you will do for the rest of your life. So Olivia's going to walk her feet up to her handstand, and she's going to show me a really good mad catted shape at the top. Yep. Yep. Ensuring that the head is tucked all the way in and the butt is super duper tight. Okay, see how her whole body is really in a straight line all the way up the block? That is perfect. All right, so the next drill that we are going to show is Brooklyn is going to get into our L handstand. She's going to have a very good mad catted shape. Her bottom is going to be straight over her hands. Her head is going to be tucked nice and tight. Okay, and this is working on the bottom half of the handstand. Okay, from here, to make it a little more challenging, she's going to kick one leg up in the air, making sure that her bottom half does not change. She'll then put that leg down and she'll switch legs, really pushing taut through her shoulders. To make it a little bit more challenging, she's going to switch the feet without the block touching. Go. Just like that. Ensuring that the bottom half does not move at all, and she keeps that mad catted chest. If your athlete has consistent bent legs, make sure that they focus on squeezing the quadricep. Put it in. Squeezing, squeezing, squeezing that quadricep, okay? The tighter, the lighter. And this is a skill that you can always poke on and make sure that they're being tight. All right, so our last handstand station is going to be working on the wrist and finger strength. And this is gonna be helping with the balancing part of the handstand. So Olivia's gonna jump up and making sure that her forearm is pushed all the way into the back of that red block. You can do this with a partner and just have them try and balance on their own. See, now she's able to kind of do it just a little bit. Pushing their forearms into that block will really help them be able to squeeze their fingers into the floor and hold their handstand as long as they can. All right, our next skill is our cartwheel, and we are going to do our most basic beginner cartwheel. Brooklyn is going to start in her mountain climber as close to the wall as possible. From there, she's going to park her car in the garage and stop in a small straddle. Yep, just like that. After that, she's going to jump. Okay, see how her hips are not quite squared yet? That's because we haven't finished initiating the turn over the cartwheel. From there, she's going to go to her very small straddle. Just like that. That is perfect. I would like to see her go back down and tap that toe just to see those hips really unsquare. Perfect. And back up. And let's tap that toe one more time. Good. And back up. Small straddle. And then from here, we will finish the cartwheel. Just like that. Okay? This wall is a good source of getting kids to kick their cartwheel straight up and over so that it doesn't look like around the world kind of thing. All right, our next cartwheel drill, Brooklyn is going to get back in her big, nice mountain climber. All right, so Brooklyn is in her nice tight mountain climber. The two dots are for your feet in the back. These two dots are for the hands. They're super far away to make sure that she's not breaking her shoulder angle, and she is really, really reaching super duper far. Go. Good, and finish. Nice. All right, our next skills that we are going to talk about is our round off. So obviously the entry and the first part of the legs is very similar to the cartwheel. The only thing that's different is we actually want to see a little bit of a block off of our hands, and then our feet come together once they get to that vertical position. All right, she's gonna get into her mountain climber, and she's gonna kick her feet up over her handstand and onto her stomach, just like that. All right, to make this drill a little bit trickier, she's gonna do the same thing. And then she's going to land on her knees, making sure that her hips are straight and underneath. See how her hips are nice and tight underneath her shoulders. It's perfect. All right, our next station, Olivia is going to do her cartwheel step in, and she's gonna fall to her seated right position, just like that. Okay, this is a round off drill that is making sure that you're finishing in the right position. All right, our next drill is gonna be our handstand step down. So this is our second half of the round off. Olivia is going to get into a nice handstand with her hands up on the panel mat. From here, she's gonna do a slight arch in the back, a tight arch. She's gonna snap down and jump up to the block, okay? This is making sure that we're actually getting off of our hands with nice tight shoulders, because if we bend at our elbows, we won't get a good block, okay? So our block is a shrug through the shoulders as soon as your hands get to the ground. So Olivia's gonna show you a demonstration of a block. She's just gonna get on all fours, okay? She's gonna really relax at the shoulders, and then she's gonna shrug and flick her fingers off of the ground, okay? She's gonna do it one more time. Okay, what we don't want to see is those elbows bend, so do it with your elbows bent. We don't want to see that, okay, because once you start to tumble at a higher level, the bent elbows are not going to get you very much power, so it's really important to keep those elbows straight and use all the strength from your shoulders. All right, our last drill is pretty much putting it all together with it a little bit easier. So she's going to go into her round-up position and just fall straight to her feet and fall to her back, just like that. If you are a little bit more advanced, I would like to see you sweep your feet and try and kick this block back as far as you can, okay? Reach, kick it. Okay, this is initiating a really, really fast turnover, okay? So it's really good for a round. All right, our next skill that we're gonna talk about today is our back bend and a little bit of the back bend stand up, okay? So Grayson is gonna do our most basic beginner drill. She's gonna stretch tall. She's gonna watch those fingertips touch back on that blue mat. And then she's gonna slowly walk her hands down as far as she can, all the way till her hands touch that red. From here, it's really important to see those shoulders really push into the wall, and then try and walk those hands all the way back up, stretching super duper tall and following our fingertips the whole way through, okay? All right, Grayson's gonna do it again one more time. If you are a little bit more advanced and you just need a little bit of support, Grayson's gonna do it and try not to touch the block so many different times, okay? So she's gonna stretch tall, she's gonna watch her fingertips go back, she's gonna touch it and maybe just do a couple, yeah, I like little hops, I like that, okay? And then the shoulders go to the wall, and then she's gonna try and hop those hands back up. Just like that, and stretching tall, okay? Make sure it's important that their head doesn't go too far back and that they are able to be able to see their fingertips the entire time, okay? All right, the next drill we're gonna use for our back bend stand up is Grayson's gonna start tall. She's gonna touch her hands from her knees. She's gonna touch her hands to the back of the floor. Yep, nice and tough, good job. And then she's gonna rock, and she's really gonna push these hips forward to get back up, making sure that she's still squeezing her ears and watching those hands, okay? She's gonna do it one more time. Watch that banana back, yep. She's gonna touch her hands to the ground. And she's gonna push these hips forward, because you guys pushing your hips forward is what's gonna make you stand up. If you don't push hips forward, you're just gonna drop straight down. Very nice, Grayson. All right, for our last back bend stand up drill, if you need assistance with the back bend, that is fine. If you don't have any assistance, just push up to your bridge. Grayson is gonna fall back down her back bend, making sure she's watching those hands. Yep, just like that. From here, she's gonna do 3 rocks. 1, 2, on the third, she's gonna fall to her knees, just like that, okay? This is super important because pushing those hips forward is what helps you guys pick your, be able to stand up from your back bend, okay?